What's up, guys? This is Morbid Nexus, and I'm here with
I'm Brian Reyes.
Reyes, and he got what place today?
First place.
First place for a case tournament for the new set came out for our tournament. All right, and what were you planning to do?
Yeah, it was a case for Cyberstorm Access today. Yesterday, Rivals Gaming, and I was playing Superheavy Samurai, the new deck from the new set.
Nice. Okay. Let's see what you played.
So it's the standard lineup: 3 bike, 3 piercer, 12 starters, as usual, standard. 2 Benkei, because you don't want to draw it, or if you draw it, you don't want it to this be dead, as usual. The one-offs, piercer, and the scales, these are all pretty standard. And these two are maybe not as standard, but I opted to play them because this is if you are able to resolve Benkei, it searches souls. So the only targets are going to be this, and this in the main deck. And if you have resolved Wakashi's effect and you're attempting to resolve this, you can search this to make Synchro 8 from there, because it can equip, unequip, and make Synchro. And this is the reason behind this is because you make Ballista and then you want to make Genius on top of that to pen summon. So this is the extender that you need to make that as an extra link material. Basically, that's about it. And then you run your bricks, your tunneler in your box, your Tearing King for the combo, a main deck one of Kaiju because you can search it off of Genius, and we opted to main deck Spell Canceller. Spell Canceller. Some people opted to end on Appaloosa with Regulus and Baron. I opted to, instead of Appaloosa, Spell Canceller and going to Saryuja to draw into more hand traps. That way, you don't hard lose to Dark Ruler, and because this is, I think, break my board kind of deck.
How many times did that come up yesterday?
Basically, I full comboed, I think, twice. Game once, and my opponent just saw their hand and scooped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
And for the hand traps, we're playing 3 main deck draw, 3 Ogre, 3 Ash, the Gamma, and the Driver. And in here, before playing this, I thought that Gamma and Draw should be side decked because I didn't feel like that comfortable, because I didn't feel that this was as impactful as in general. Like, I only thought this was good against this deck, not in general, but it turned out to be the correct choice. And the Gamma as well. Like, you want Gamma to stop draw, but realistically that's basically never gonna happen if your opponent know how your deck plays. So Gamma is basically a going second card. And you can also pitch it of Scarecrow, and this can be your level 2 tuner that you buy of Stardust XL. So it's fine. And you can Pendulum Summon. Any of this, if you need to, you can Pendulum Summon it. So it's fine as well. Or you can discard it if you need it. Yeah, it's fine. And I play 3, 6, 9, 12 hand traps. You could play more, but I wanted cards for going second that are good as well as going first. And you could do like more hand traps like Bell, Nibiru, Baylor, that kind of stuff. So I opted to play 2 Fenrir. Fenrir out Floodgates. It's good going first, going second. It was pretty good. Fenrir was definitely the correct choice. And off top of the double Fenrir, I was getting convinced to play double Kurikara, but I only could get my hands on 1. So there's a random Kurikara in my main deck, and then I played a Nibiru in the main deck instead of the second one, which it was fine. I still don't know if I like this card that much. I don't know if I could keep it, and It might be a second debut. I don't know. Yeah, I would need to test more and see if there are any or kaijus, some other kaijus. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the main deck.
And how many cards is that?
40 cards.
40? Okay.
Yeah, and before coming here, basically this deck, since it's new and all, I basically had like no playtesting. I was like
Wow.
just pure theory, just like I saw like maybe 1 or 2 combos, and I was like, I just figure it out. I'll be fine.
Just go as you go.
Yeah. I saw like a Pac video, and I saw him play like 2 games, and I was like, okay, I know enough. I should be able to play the deck. And turned out I was at the very beginning, first round, had no idea what I was doing. By the end, I was like playing around hand traps, like full comboing. It was insane. So extra deck, double scarecrow. This is one of the most broken cards of the deck. It's a link 1 for the archetype. You definitely need 2. 2 comes up. The Ballista and the Genius for the combo, which is standard. And as I said, I'm playing the cancel in the main deck, so you need Saryuja. In here, you could play more links. You could do also the Earth Channeler or Unicorn Access Code, but I thought this was fine. But there was one link in particular that came up that I didn't run, which is Underworld Goddess. You definitely need to play that card. I'm gonna play that card from now on because I was playing the Axel Stardust and the OG Stardust with the Baron. So this is just to play around the Nibiru on the summon of Axel Stardust, but you don't need to run this card. So I could see myself cutting this over the Underworld Goddess, which actually came up. And Wakaushi, if you don't know, has an on-field effect, which you can discard a card and summon a Samurai from deck and locks you into the archetype. So that could come up, and you do that in order for you to summon the Synchro 8 for the archetype, which is a quick effect MST and burns for 500. So that could be relevant. So it didn't come up today, but I think you can still run it. The reasoning why is also because he can attack in defense. So this is realistically an out to Baguska if you need to. Summon this in defense and attack the Baguska. And that could come up. And the Savage for extra negation. This is not part of the usual end board, but in the following turn you can summon this and be fine. For the rest is the Sargas engine with the Zeus. You summon this, then this, search Tyrion, and you can make a format Zeus. And this is plan B, as always. If you get Drolled or Shifter, just go back to Pass, hope to survive next turn. And the last tech card that I don't know if it's actually worth continuing playing, but in theory sounds pretty insane, is Exciter Knight. Nobody expects this card. Who's playing around Exciter Knight? The only reason why this might not be as good is this deck pluses so much. This being live is hard. For you to have less cards than your opponent, it's actually hard. Which sounds so insane. This deck is so broken. And yeah, and that was the X deck.
Nice, very nice.
And for the side, the most broken card on the side, definitely 100%. Archfiend Eccentric. You gotta play this. It does everything. Odds Floodgates. It either spell floodgates, trap floodgates, monster floodgates. It does anything. It's a scale 7, so after you solve Wakaushi, you summon it, and then even if you have Big Benkei in the scale, this can complete your scale and you can pendulum summon. And another thing is that Eccentric can pop any spell and trap on the field, for example. And there was a play where I did Archfiend Eccentric and popped my own Soul Piercer, which allowed me to play.
The finals, yeah.
And allowed me to play and allowed me to win a game in the finals, which was insane. This was in theory for Runic decks or Purely, but it turns out I didn't see any Purely today, so I'd never put this in, but in theory it's solid against those decks. So I don't know. I would need to test that more. I run Bestials in the side because Math Mech and Purely are light and darks, and any other random deck that this could be good against, it's good. So yeah. You could run DD Crow as well, but I feel like this is fine. 3 Kaijus, in particular, you run this one because it's the level 7 with the lowest attack that you are able to Pendulum Summon. If you run Gamma Seal, you cannot Pendulum Summon it. So that's the reason behind it. Pancratops, because it's basically the third Fender, you can Pendulum Summon this. It destroys, basically contests 2 cards by the price of 1. The last side deck card, I wasn't sure what to put in. So some people suggested me to put double Nibiru in the side, and actually was kind of correct. Nibiru was pretty impactful. I started this in almost every time. So as you see here, there's basically no going first cards. So you could theoretically make your opponent go first and decide for going second and be fine. Yeah, I had to reverse 2-0 a lot of people today. So if from here, I never saw any of these cards. All of these cards, I saw them and were insane every time I saw them. So yeah, and my matchups were round 1, I faced Labyrinth. I rolled the die roll. Game 2, his skill drained. Game 3, full combo. Round 2 was Dragon Link. That's the reason why Underworld Goddess comes up, because Borderland or Chaos Angel, if you don't see your Kaiju, you're not able to out it. And even though 3-4 Genius can search it, it's hard for you to get to it if they interrupt you in a certain scenario. Round 3, it was Gold Pride with Punk. Nothing to say about that. That deck I don't think is very good. Round 4, it was Sprite Life Twin. That was a tough one. It came up to the very end, like Top Deck Wars, Game 3. It was hard fought. Round 5, it was Earth Machine with Infinitrax and the Samurai Engine in it. And it was crazy deck, but we came through. So in Swiss, I went 4-1. And then we got to the top 8. In top 8, I was playing a Tier Element player, which is where Bestials came in, which were, again, the reason why Tier Element are kept in check, the Bestials. Top 4, I did Sword Soul, which was main decking Ghost in Match, or Rivalry, was crazy. I couldn't do anything because I Cyphered Lord Lambda or Gamma. I gammaed and I couldn't do anything because I was on the Rivalry. But I reversed 2-0. And then in the finals, I was facing my boy Peter. He was playing Kashtira, and that was hard. He Shifter or Droll kills this deck, but every time I had the Gamma for that. And Reyes is it's hard to beat, but we came through. So yeah, didn't face any Purely, didn't face any mirror matches. So we'll see how we go from here.
All right. Awesome. Do you have any shout outs you want to give out before we end this?
Shout outs to everybody that lent me cards. Shout out to JD, Juan, Chase, Ethan, which was funny because Chase was gonna lend me a Fender, and then out of my entry packs, I pulled an Ulti Fender. I was like, oh, I don't need it anymore. I got it. Yeah, shout outs to Joel, to everybody else. Arrivals, Matt, thanks for recording this. Yeah, it was a great event.
Awesome. All right, and this is Brian with his first place Superheavy Samurai deck. It's Mormon Nexus signing out.